This video was brought to you by the lovely members of my Patreon. And when I look at the whole situation, I'm like, you know what, maybe living in a poly house would be a really great idea, because you just have all of these people who are so invested in each other that you are extra invested in making sure that everyone's fine. Hey guys, it's Kat and it's time for another episode of True Tea. I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining me here for yet another episode of True Tea. It has been a whole week since I have seen you, and the world is different. How have you guys been? What have you guys been up to? I personally have been going through it, and I kind of want it for the comment section of this video to be you guys sharing with me what your current, coronavirus situation is, because mine has been muy interesantes, as they say in Mexico. So you guys know I always make the joke on this channel about me slowly but surely turning this channel into a post-apocalyptic prepper channel, right? That is a joke that I've been making for quite some time. It took the coronavirus for me to realize just how far away I was from that reality. Now, I'll be honest, when things first started happening, I was like, it's probably not a big deal. It's probably nothing. Listen, I do believe that the media is very invested in keeping us scared and keeping us uninformed, right? So, and honestly, one of the best things that I've ever done is decide deliberately to pay less attention to the news, which I know sounds really terrible and apolitical, but it's just been amazing for my mental health. Because there are definitely things that are put out into the media that are made to be bigger than they actually are. With time, we've learned that the coronavirus is a very, very real thing. And I hope most of you guys are self-quarantining. I am quarantining myself quite a bit more now. To be honest with you guys, I work from home, so staying inside and not having contact with other people, the extrovert in me is struggling, but the daily, me going through what I usually do, this is my full-time job, right? This is it's kind of like business as usual. Just now I have a Steam account and I'm probably going to become a PC gamer girl. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. And I think that if you have the ability to stay home, some people can't do that, but if you have the ability to stay home and self-quarantine, please, please, please do it. It is not just about, you. I mean, listen, I'm not worried about getting sick personally. If I end up getting the coronavirus, I'll probably end up being okay. I'm young, I am healthy, I'm probably gonna end up getting through it and getting past it if I do end up getting it, right? I'm not really worried about me. I'm worried about the fact that I could be a potential carrier, and if I go out and I start, just living life like I usually do, that I could expose other people, and they don't really deserve that. So if you can self-quarantine, please, 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 please do it. That's what I've been up to, right? I hope that we all return to society as normal, but for now we're doing the quarantine thing. And because of that, I wanted to have a conversation with you guys about my polyamory and surviving and going and moving through the post-coronavirus, not post, but the coronavirus climate that we're currently in. So anyway, let's get into that conversation. But before we do, I want you to run to your kitchen, grab yourself something from the rations, and sit down and have a drink with me. Currently, I'm drinking this original horchata by Don Jose. I got this specifically because I wanted to eat and drink things that I probably wouldn't get in a minute. So I thought, let's get this horchata. I did get some powdered horchata, but I don't trust that as much as I trust this. So I wanted to get the real thing before we're making it from water every day. So yeah, let me take a sip of this and then let's get right into this video. Let me know what's in your mug in the comment box below. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about my polyamory and the coronavirus, because obviously being in a relationship with several people who are also in relationships with several people who are also in relationships with several people, this is a concern for a lot of us in the community. This is definitely going to be more of a me telling you guys how my situation is kind of video, more than a video where I'm teaching you anything. I've recognized that some people watch my content because for whatever reason, they find me to be a very interesting person and they don't have very many people like me in their life. So I just wanted to sort of give you guys my thoughts and experiences currently being in several relationships with polyamorous people and navigating around the virus, right? Now, the reason why I want to talk about this is honestly because all of my partners have had vastly different reactions to this, right? Now, in this video, I go down the list of most of my partners, and in my last video that I also did, which I'll link up there as well, I went down the list of two more of my more recent partners. At some point, we'll do a video about why I call these guys partners, but for now, these are the men that I'm dating. There's about 5 of them at this point. And that's more recent. I wasn't expecting to have 5 partners, but we're here now, so what's up? And so it's just been an interesting, everyone feels so differently about it. Everyone is just having a totally different experience, right? So let's go down the list, right? So some of my partners are, all of my partners are very, very smart. All of my partners are very, very educated and very involved. So every last one of them, with the exception of 2 of them, has been posting a lot about the virus, has been talking and thinking a lot about the virus. They're very, very concerned. So let's go down the list. So Alexander, who's my more recent partner, I actually went on a date. I guess it's a date. I don't know what to call this, an outing, I suppose. Alexander, like 2 months ago, planned this bonfire. It was a bonfire with me, him, his partner, and her boyfriend. They all live together, and they wanted me to come out and have a bonfire with them. Now, we did not expect the coronavirus and we did not expect rain, but Alexander was like, we're going to have a bonfire. So through natural disaster and rain and pandemic, we decided that we were going to go and have a bonfire. And it actually turned out to be quite a fun experience. I believe it or not, this is gonna make me sound very, very sheltered, but I cooked hot dogs over an open flame for the first time. I'm very proud of myself. I did that. I mean, they were already cooked, so maybe I shouldn't be that proud of myself, but I did that, and I'm proud of myself because I did it. But yeah, Alexander, as I talked about you guys before, he is an engineer. He's very, very science-minded. And so he has been posting like nonstop, coronavirus this, coronavirus that. He's one of these guys who is trying to synthesize different things at home to prevent the virus. He's making some sort of ventilator thing that I don't understand. Like, he posts a lot of stuff that like, I look at it and I'm like, I don't know what any of this means. I don't know what these words mean. His way of coping with a lot of this stuff is with memes, science memes that don't make too much sense to me personally. But, he seems like a kind of person who he's concerned, he's taking precautions. If I were to start the post-apocalyptic, poly commune, everyone in that house would be a great person to start it with. In their situation, they have a garden, so they've already had a garden. They've already been growing their own food for quite some time now. They're stocked up, for the most part, pretty well. And they'll be good. They'll be good. They've been prepared for this before this was a concern, right? Alexander was looking at the signs and things, and he apparently was more paranoid than I am, and he's been preparing slowly but surely over the past couple of months. So they'll be okay. And when I look at the whole situation, I'm like, you know what? Maybe living in a poly house would be a really great idea, because you just have all of these people who are so invested in each other that you are extra invested in making sure that everyone's fine. There's not going to be any weird competition or fighting or anything. Everyone's just kind of working together because they all love each other, right? And so that's beautiful. And I'm glad that they all have that. I'm not quite yet in that sort of, I'm not with them yet like that, maybe one day, but it's beautiful that they have that. It's beautiful that they have that. And I'm glad that they're willing to help me out if I'm in not so great of a position. Benjamin is the guy that I talked about in the past. He's married with children. Benjamin's situation is a little interesting. So Benjamin's daughter Benjamin has a daughter who goes to a school where one of the faculty members was tested positive for the virus. So he's been on like super lockdown mode ever since then. Benjamin's similar to Alexander, read up a lot about this stuff. He's already been making his own hand sanitizer at home. He's just a nerd like that. He knows how to do that stuff. So he's been doing that, and they are going to be on a hard lockdown for the next like 5 weeks. I'm really going to miss them because Benjamin, of my partners, Benjamin is the least likely to break out of quarantine to see me. The least likely because he's got a family. You know, he's got a family he has to take care of. He has to be thoughtful and concerned about that. And he's just kind of one of these better safe than sorry kind of guys. It's so funny because I think my dad would actually love Benjamin because he's just that. My dad's a hypochondriac. We'll talk about my dad later. My dad is like, oh my gosh, they would get along really well on that, in that way, and maybe that way alone. As dads, they would get along, right? So that's Benjamin's current situation. And both Benjamin and Alexander have been, of my partners, the most attentive, you know, making sure that I have everything, that I'm okay, that everything's okay, that I'm safe, da-da-da-da. Victor, who's my partner who lives in Portland, also sort of, Victor is 51, so he is a little bit closer. He's not old enough yet, but he's a little bit closer to where he's at a potential risk factor for this stuff. So he's been reading up a lot. He's been very, very aware. He's been very, very, you know, focused, but Victor's also a bit of a he's very, very, very into health, you know? And so he's already kind of on top of stuff. He was the guy who told me that like anti-inflammatories aren't, well, the first guy, Benjamin later told me, but anti-inflammatories aren't great. So if you do have the virus, anti-inflammatories are gonna actually just make it worse. So yeah, he was really on top of that. And from what I know, he's fine. He's the guy who camps, so he's prepared as well, which makes me feel very, very secure. I know that he'll survive. And I know that if he's caught in the wilderness somewhere, he's probably gonna end up being okay because he knows how to live off of the land, right? Now, my other two partners are a different story, right? Now, Nathan is a working class guy, right? Nathan is one of the people in this situation who he's working because he needs to work. He's working because this is how he's gonna survive. You know, he can't just work from home. He can't, you know, he's gonna go in and do his stuff and make his pay. He's really not happy with work right now. Actually, he learned recently that someone that he was training was actually making more money than him, a younger person. And so he's not too happy about that. So he hates his job. But you know, he has to work. And so when I've asked him about it and I've asked him if he's okay and if he's prepared, he hasn't really given me like a satisfactory answer. He's not as concerned about it. He definitely is going to be one of these people who, when shit hits the fan, when things eventually, you know, do end up being bad, he's gonna, then and only then is he gonna stop working. That's gonna be the exact moment when he stops working, right? When it's just like he has to, right? Which of course makes me a little concerned, but I think he'll also be okay. I have not asked him about whether or not he has enough food and things like that, but I'm pretty sure all the men that I date are like, well, with the exception of this guy I'm about to talk about, they're all very, very prepared. They're all very like paranoid on some level or another, which I love because I need someone like that because I'm paranoid, but not nearly as paranoid as I probably should be. So he'll probably be okay. Salvatore recently started working, Salvatore is the animator. Salvatore recently started working on this animated, you know, show for Netflix. He just got this job. Like this was like, I think his second week at the job. Salvatore, he is not worried. In fact, I was supposed to see him tonight. He was supposed to come over and we're supposed to watch movies and things. But I decided that I wanted to work and that I need to get stuff done. I'm way ahead of schedule in terms of video stuff. But you know, I wanted to be efficient and I wanted to, you know, do things ahead of time. But yeah, so Salvatore is not really giving a fuck. And Salvatore, I don't think he's prepared at all. So it has me a little worried because he's definitely on the side of like, this is all just kind of like the media blowing things out of proportions. We'll be okay. Things will be fine. So I'm a little worried for him. So that's all of my partners. That's what's happening in terms of what my actual partners are doing, right? In terms of what I've seen from the poly community in general, I mean, one of the things that's obviously gonna suck is we're all in, I mean, most of us are in self-imposed quarantines. A lot of us are out of work. A lot of us, we have to be home now. So dates and things like that are gonna be complicated. But for now, this is the first time in my life that I'm more than comfortable with having a man just come over, just hang out, just come and watch Netflix with me. But most of my partners, I mean, Benjamin's definitely not gonna do it. Alexander might every once in a while, want to be brave and go against the quarantine. Benjamin's definitely staying in. Salvatore is definitely gonna come over. Nathan, I have a date with him tomorrow. So, I'm still gonna see my partners. I'm sure they're still gonna see their partners. And I think that the idea is, I don't know, I guess we all feel like it's gonna be okay. I guess we should really have a conversation about that because I think we all feel like it's gonna be okay. But I'm thinking in terms of knowing that for the most part, my partners are going to self-quarantine. I guess I'm realizing this as we're talking. I guess I probably should have a conversation with them about whether or not their partners are also self-quarantining, because I know I'm fine, but I don't know if everyone else is fine. I don't know. All of my partners are, for the most part, pretty responsible. It's just two of them are they're not quite having the reaction that I'm having, because I'm kind of like, look, I'm scared and I'm gonna make sure that I'm okay, and I'm gonna make sure that the people I love are okay. But they're adults. You can't like force an adult to do something, So we're all dealing with it, I guess. The way that we're dealing with coronavirus and polyamory is that we just are. And I'm hoping that things will be okay. I'm hoping that things will be fine. But everything's so uncertain now. I mean, we're finding out so many new things about the virus every single day. That stuff is uncertain. And maybe it would be smart, maybe it would be prudent for us to, for now not do stuff. But my sense of it is that we're gonna be all in like these quarantines for a while. I'm talking months. As someone who works from home already, that's probably not gonna be a big deal for me, but I am gonna miss people. I am gonna start feeling really sort of cabin fevery and really sort of anxious because I'm gonna miss people, and I'm an extrovert, and I know for a fact that I kind of need to be able to have connection with people and be able to connect, talk to people in order for me to feel some semblance of sanity. So I guess you guys will see in the next couple of weeks how I am in these videos to see where I'm at in terms of, my feelings in the quarantine. But, for now, I think I'm not as worried as, maybe some people are. So we'll see. I'm actually really curious from other people who are polyamorous, how you guys are handling this, because even as I'm having this conversation, I'm realizing that I thought before we filmed this video that things were pretty figured out, but I'm realizing like there are some more conversations that I probably should have with people. I probably do need to talk to people about, well, if you're gonna do this and this and this and this, I need to do that, da, 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 da. Or, you know what I mean? I probably should have more conversations with people about what they're doing. Cause, listen, look, I'm 29. I'm not ready to die from no corona. Okay, it's not time, okay? It is not time for me to die from no coronavirus. So yeah, I'm a little nervous. I'm very, very nervous, but I have a sense that we'll pull through. Like, I have a very, very strong sense that we'll pull through. So I'm curious to know how you guys have been doing it. If you're polyamorous, what your experiences have been throughout this whole virus shenanigans situation or whatever. So yeah, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. So leave that in the comment box below. So if you made it all the way through this video, I would really appreciate if you put this emoji in the comment box below. I appreciate those of you guys who do the emojis every single week. You guys are amazing. You're so cool, way cooler than I am, and way cooler than I could ever wish to be. So thank you for that. Thank you for being so cool. Anyway, right now you are looking at 2 videos you can watch if you would like to continue to sip true tea with me. Down in the bottom, there are various ways for you to send me things. You can send me a tip, or you can send me stuff to my P.O. box, which hopefully I'll still be able to get to. I actually don't have any masks. So if you have any and you feel like sending them, I will take them. So bye.